Give us any chance, we'll take it. Read us any rule, we'll break it. We're gonna make our dreams come true.
Welcome to Night After Night, a podcast about 8 seasons in a row. I'm Lisa Fernandez, and
I'm Chris J. Wardna. Hello.
We're about to review Crime Isn't Pretty from season 7 of Laverne and Shirley. Written by Al Eichmann and Nick LaRose, and directed by Tom Tribovich. I'm sure Chris has some facts coming up about Nick and Al.
I do, indeed. Yeah.
And here's what the episode's about. The girls are apparently robbed thanks to Shirley losing her labeled house keys during her trip to Disneyland. Hoping to solve the crime while they're out in the town in Palm Springs on Frank's dime, Carmine and Frank prowl the place for clues only to net Rhonda and Squiggy instead of the perps. Force them try to figure out the best way to protect the girls' place, but a series of revelations, visits, and interruptions, along with some odd gunplay, eventually leads them to an amazing truth. What do you think about this episode?
The hell was that?
What the fuck was that? Your girl just turned into a gun PSA.
Yeah, now, I am one of those people that I'm not necessarily, and I lean more anti-gun than pro-gun, per se, when it comes to my own personal belief system. But what's unfortunate is that there are really good ways you can do gun PSA episodes. I especially will point out the one from the gang violence one for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That is a powerful moment in television history. This is bizarre, and
it really is.
It turns into very much almost like a dumbed down kid show at the end. Very strange.
Yeah.
And it's because the sad thing is, I also feel like just in terms of what this episode is conceptually, it's trying to be another Bubble episode like Stepping Out or one of those, and it doesn't. I'm having trouble figuring out exactly what is missing here. Now, part of it is I just haven't had as much time, I think, to stew on this as I have with others. But one of the things that bothers me about this, and why I say, what the hell is this, is, what's going on, is that the whole gimmick to just get the girls out of there and make this yet another episode without Laverne and Shirley pretty much at all. They're there for the beginning, and then it's entirely about the rest of the cast.
Yes.
What is weird to me is that the answer, when you get the revelation and reveal of what was actually responsible for the theft, who was responsible for the theft, it's awkward and anticlimactic. Yeah. And the interruptions, why is a priest just walking into the house?
Maybe Shirley made a friend and she offered him something, but it is no real reason established for him to be there.
Yeah,
it is.
The only reason he's there is to return the key because one of his kids at the field trip to Disneyland discovered it.
Yeah,
but it's
true.
But my point is,
so there's a reason. There's a reason. Okay, all right, you're correct. There's a reason.
But my point is that you're returning an object. You put it in the mailbox. Yeah. You talk to the landlord and say, "Hey, I think their spare key or their house key got lost. One of the kids at the parish found it, or on the field trip, whatever." You don't just use the damn thing and let yourself in.
Yeah. That could have gotten them shot, ironically enough. I mean, literally, that's the point of the episode. They could have just gotten shot. This is one of the weirdest episodes in the show's canon. It kind of sets the tone for season 8. It's kind of self-mocking in a way. In a way, it's kind of mocking the tropes of the entire show. David Lander's just out there pretty much alone, riffing on himself and having a ball, or as much a ball as he can, in this weird episode. It pretty much makes no sense. We start out with what feels like it's going to be a cute little crime caper episode. And then it turns out the non-answer to the big question here, who robbed the girls? Squiggy burst in, basically, and did everything except for Rhonda, who took the borrowed the stereo. And the ultimate question here is, why did the girls not go question the boys first? Because they've been doing this for so long. They've been stealing their food for decades at this point, or it feels like decades. They've been stealing their food for almost 10 years now. If I went into my house and my cake and the cake that I made was missing, along with my green stamps plus stereo, I wouldn't think that I had been robbed. I would go across the hallway and find out if the boys had anything. When I didn't find the stereo, maybe I'd call the cops, but I'd also check with Rhonda.
Yeah, exactly.
But
and and the reveal even with Rhonda is that she borrowed it without permission, which isn't okay,
Yeah.
but she was responsible. It broke.
Yeah.
She had to go get it repaired. She went to get it repaired. She didn't return it broken. She went and had it fixed.
Yes. But it's one of those episodes that gets easily answered by anybody in the entire plot using their brain.
Yeah.
All somebody needs to do is just think for 5 seconds. But nobody thinks. And then we get the very bizarre gun PSA thrown in, which absolutely feels like it was mandated because, well, kids watch the show. We had a whole episode about reefer that was completely moral free, but it's time to give the kiddies morals about gun usage out of the blue.
And I also have a question.
Weird.
Where did this gun come from? What bad boyfriend of
Laverne?
Yeah, what they don't explain that, do they?
No, Frank does. He has had that gun with him since Anzio. That's Frank's personal gun that he has around.
No, I don't remember. No, he talked about
that. No,
he mentions that he used guns in Anzio.
No, he said I've had this gun since Anzio.
Then why is it in the girl's closet? He said I should have left it in the closet.
That's why he said he should have left it in the closet. That's where it's been the whole time. He's been hauling it. He hauled it with him all the way to the coast. It's been in the closet, in his house, in the trailer.
Okay.
So he got it with him. Yeah.
Well, okay, great. So my theory that it was a really crappy boyfriend of Laverne's that's like, every woman should have a gun. Here, let me leave my gun here with you.
Jake the Snake makes a surprising fourth act return. And it's like, this is just such an uneven, weird, bizarre episode that feels fever dreamish. Even more so than Perfidy in Blue.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an actual dream.
Well, that's the thing is, right? If you write a dream scene, it's going to have more logic than this.
Yeah, exactly. Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding. This is just, it's bad in excess. There's some bright spots, a lot of the bright spots in the character moments in the dialogue, and some pieces of dialogue, but this is just, it sets the tone for what's coming towards us. It's nonsensical. The actors seem to know it's bad and are absolutely winking at the audience.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a mess. It's a big old mess with a lot of big stumbling blocks. You could tell that we're still in the season 7 era where there's allegedly backstage drama. The girls only want to be in like 2 seconds of the episode, so it's like, fine, we'll weave an episode without you. We'll make our own Laverne and Shirley with hookers and gambling and blackjack.
Yeah, and a priest. And kinky bondage jokes.
Kinky bondage jokes out of nowhere. And Rhonda offering to show everyone her scars and
her birthmark.
Birthmark, yes, birthmark. And Squiggy being so into it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my lord.
So
that's such a weird.
We start with called the cops over 2 hours ago, and it's like, I told you, show we got to move closer to a donut shop.
That's so cheap but funny.
Yeah,
it's a cheap joke.
It's a cheap, funny joke, especially because the cop does come in munching the last little bit of like a round donut.
Yep. Burglars don't knock, Cheryl. I love that Shirley blurts out a baseball question that she absolutely wouldn't know, but Laverne definitely does. And that causes a moment of camaraderie between her and the police officer.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I do like that Laverne is very. She definitely is a bit on the ACAB side on with the way that she talks about it. And Cheryl being so paranoid. Okay, before I get ahead of myself too much, though, I don't want to miss out because we'll probably jump away from the first policeman pretty early. When he comes through the door, did he look familiar to you?
No, but you were surprised that I did not recognize him.
I was surprised. I knew it was somebody. I didn't recognize him either, specifically at all. Bob McClure, that's Mikey the dentist.
I absolutely did not recognize him. That's hilarious. That is so amazing. Wow.
So we haven't seen him really since season 3, but he's kind of major character actor, bit player days are behind him, and he's got a bit of TV to do and Pee-wee's Big Adventure and all that kind of stuff. So trivia note, because this is his last appearance on Laverne and Shirley, that's also the brother of Edie McClurg from Ferris Bueller.
No way! I had no idea they were even related. That's cool. That is cool. Okay, things I didn't know. I didn't know.
But anyway, I do love the that whole it's like, what about this? What about that? And it's like, hey, you asked the questions, and he's still chewing his donut.
Yep.
I love how different and confident this character, his performance is compared to him as Mikey in season 3, where he was just, this bundle of nerves.
Yeah, the poor guy. It's really, really well handled. You absolutely cannot tell it's the same dude at all. That's amazing. It's funny. I was gonna say, so there's a piece of pizza just sitting there on the end table behind the couch that he picks up and puts down.
Mm-hmm.
Girls, come on, jeez.
Yeah.
3 weeks of licking down the drain.
God.
And of course, which is immediately followed by "Don't touch your pussycat."
Yes. Yeah. Don't be touching that boo boo kitty.
Nobody touches Boo Boo Kitty. Nobody puts Boo Boo Kitty in the corner. Nobody.
And if they do, we're gonna have to answer to Patrick Swayze.
Yeah. He'll dance you to death. How is Shirley this stupid that she actually has her name and address on her key fob?
That is,
Like,
yeah.
plot bullshit. That's plot bullshit.
Yeah, it is out of character for Shirley to be this dense.
Yep.
There's dense.
Yep.
This is, and also this is not Shirley dense. Notice how paranoid she's being now. She never would have. Paranoid people don't do things like that.
Exactly. And we know Shirley is smarter than this. It's like Laverne suddenly all of a sudden being unwise vis men.
Mm-hmm. Seems single for a bit. I don't know. For my purposes.
There's only a slight tan line on him. Go. Man.
Oh, God.
It's like,
this fucking episode, man.
Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, a harbinger. It's like, Carmine Goomba. That did make you laugh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. That was cute. And the fact that Carmine's just sitting there eating whole cans of tomatoes.
Yeah, to make his trap.
Make his trap. He's sitting there shoveling tomatoes in it, and I'm like, dude, you could just drain the cans.
Okay, let's back up for a second. I wanted to mention something before we get too far. There's that bit where they're saying, where Papa's going to pay for the trip, and they're like, don't want the slime in the house, and don't want slime in our house. And I was waiting for the boys.
Yeah,
and nothing.
Yeah. Amazingly, that is not a hello line. Right up there with "We don't like to be robbed."
Yep. And I do find it funny that Pop first says he's got a cop friend. He'll watch the place and catch him, and then of course he just calls Carmine.
Yep, exactly. And I love that in spite of all of their pratfalliness and their attempts at stringing everything up, they end up being bored to tears pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
My note on this is comedy with a K. Comedy. Pratfalls.
My mother pointed out that he was singing about Tripoli as Pop gets tripped on the cans when he comes in. He gets tripped on the can trap.
Okay. Things I didn't know. That's adorable. Your mom's great. Your mom's the best.
Oh, thank you.
Your mom's the best.
You bet your life it never failed. I come back from the war. My wife doesn't think it works. I've been waiting 20 years to put it to use.
20 years.
Good traps. Frank. We had these traps in the war. Oh, God.
Oh, Frank, my dear. Dear boy. I love that the immediate nosiness that happens. Carmine wanting to read Shirley's diary. Frank wondering if there are some strange dudes going up to his daughter's room.
Mm-hmm.
I expected he would approve of some nice Italian boy going through Laverne's lingerie drawer. But the fact that Carmine's been through Shirley's is interesting in of itself.
And he does try to explain it away, which is a case of, I don't know if after seeing you read that diary, I trust you there, buddy.
I don't buy your protestations, my dude. I do not buy them at all. Of course, Frank thinks that depilatory things are related to pillows. As he's putting the stuff on his mustache and it gets rid of hair.
Yeah, yep.
My mustache!
My mustache! And then surprise, Pop's got a gun. It's not loaded, and he's just holding it out. It's like, first rule of gun safety, treat every gun like it's loaded, even if you know it's not. Even if you know. Even if you have the slide back and you can see down the barrel, treat it like it's loaded.
Yep.
Like,
so done.
Oh, my God. And just and
so
Frank's
bad.
trigger discipline. Oh God.
Yeah, his trigger discipline is pretty awful. I will say that. I will say that. It's just like he just doesn't even pay attention to what he's doing with his hands, what he's doing with the barrel of the gun. He's just willy-nilly pointing it.
I mean, there's a photo that I saw recently of behind the scenes of The Getaway, and they're on set, and it's McQueen and Peckinpah, and McQueen has the 1911 in his hand, and his finger's on the trigger guard. This is a guy who knows what he's doing.
God.
It's, it's like whenever I see actors being willy-nilly like that with guns, I cringe so hard inside.
Yeah, it just makes you think of on-set disasters. There's been too many on-set gun disasters.
Absolutely.
We don't even want to give them the chance to do anything.
And this whole, I do find it interesting. They give this whole morality thing of like, I'm American. This gun's my atomic bomb. And I'm Switzerland. I'm neutral. Don't point that at me. And even say 90% of the things with guns isn't good, which I'd say 100% of the things aren't good, because even if you're killing somebody to defend yourself, you're still having to kill something. So I would say that's not good. If you really want to get split hairs about it.
Yeah. The goal is not to kill anybody.
Exactly.
The goal is not to kill anybody. That's the point. That's supposed to murder somebody.
Yep.
Oh God! And just Frank's just not paying attention to her. Not paying attention at all. I remember that. Boy, do I remember that. Carmine in the diary. That's funny.
Oh yeah, the smile. He's got that smile. Good grief, boy.
The 31st.
And
then
cue the crook, which is clearly Squiggy. He has an imaginary Lenny to laugh at his jokes if he's not there.
it's so sad. This will resurface later. Sadly.
Does this mean that Squiggy has attachment disorder with Lenny, and that he needs Lenny as much as Len needs Squig?
Yeah, definitely. They're very attached to each other. They are peas in a single pod. David just Daviding as hard as he can.
Yep.
At
Some
the
ketchup?
moment, just
Nah, but a lemon. That should be very healthy, very tart. Lemon is good.
so tart. That's good food.
Oh, girls, did you lose a $10 bill? I take that as a no, Squiggy, we didn't. And then he gets caught in the trap.
Yep. I have to check my Marie calendar. That was funny.
Yes, I'm not good
funny.
without my Marie calendar. I want
That's
names, give me
funny.
names. All right, I did it. What did I do? And I love him spraying Carmine with the lemon by accident.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that Eddie
Yeah.
put up with that, because, I mean, that is dangerously close to his face.
Oh, yeah. Anything to get a laugh. At this point. 90%. By the way, that point where Frank and Carmine are talking about the guns, and he says that 90% of the things, the stories related to guns aren't good. I'm like, seeing this giant neon sign over their heads going, PSA, PSA, PSA.
Well,
And
they do
it's
say that,
so weird.
75% of all statistics are pulled out of one's ass.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
Bum ba dum ba dum bum bum bum. Anyway, okay, so Squig starts getting really excited about the gun, almost like a childlike way.
Mm-hmm.
I spent close to 3 weeks in the Army Reserves.
That's one that I spent in high school. Then Carmine nodded like, yeah, that's true. I eat gun,
He was
sleep
annoyed
gun,
by him.
chew gun. The gun is the farmer's friend.
The gun is the farmer's friend is probably the best line in this episode.
Yeah. And then finally he gets this like, all right, you bums, acting like an idiot. My note is yikes, yikes. He even mentions Len in the middle of that, which is very Cowboys and Indians, or Allies and Axis of them.
Yeah. Don't call me Len.
Yeah, don't call me Len. And he's trying to fan fire a semi-automatic, which would really not go well, actually, because that slide will smack your hand, buddy. Or you get nice hot brass straight.
Yeah, but he does not care.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I noticed
He's too close, so he's caught in pretend land. Sorry, go ahead.
there's some weird audio around the end of this moment, though. He's going pow, 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 I noticed that it's like they repeat the ADR audio too much.
Yeah, it's possible they needed to redub things. That's a good guess that they had to, do something, do what, I don't know, behind the scenes.
Yeah.
He's just full of flights of fancy here.
Mm-hmm.
And then they think the robber has returned, and it turns out it's the shapely Rhonda. It certainly is. I'll show you my birthmark. I see your birthmark.
I was like, come on, now.
You see the boobs. Both the boobs. There's some good little moments here with the 10 condiments as the priest comes in. The priest.
That's your father? He looks so much younger than you. Must be those milk baths.
Yeah, that's a real line. I guess they finally got something done in that economical conference of theirs.
It's about time you give me your confession. All right, Petrie, it's about time you give me your confession. Isn't that supposed to be my line? Whew, quite like a monk, this one.
Oh, Lord. And then, it starts to come together for them bit by bit.
Yep.
Rhonda explains the stereo.
The stereo, and then the green stamps to mail a letter to Ireland.
Who does Squiggy know in Ireland? That's the ultimate question.
Was he trying to make nice with one of Shirley's distant relatives?
Possibly. My reaction is, he has a pen pal, which is possible.
Oh, yeah, that's really likely. I like that.
Cute idea.
And the cake, I took the cake because the green stamps left a minty taste in my mouth, and I thought with the cake they'd wipe it out. And then the wet wool.
Wet wool, which is pleasurable, which Lenny finds, I guess, erotic or something. I don't know.
And I love Carmine even goes, him too?
The way it comes out of Squiggy's mouth, he finds the smell of wet wool pleasurable. It's like Michael's not in the room, so I'm just going to make up stuff of this character. Oh, God.
And then,
Squig looks so traumatized, by the way, as they put this all together. And then, boom, we get Sledgehammer with more gun PSA.
Yep, you shot it right in the L. It must have been one of the chambers. See, I told you that. I can't believe it. I shot a picture of my daughter. Could have shot a picture of anybody. Yeah, once at the zoo, I shot a picture of a monkey.
Yeah, it's one hell of a shot.
Yeah, my note here is now the message comes in like zonk.
And he just hammered out of nowhere. It's like they wanted to do a gun PSA, but they had to figure out a way to wrap it around a storyline with the girls being involved. And it's just like, and it gets worse and worse as the episode goes on. It's such a disaster. These actors deserve so much better.
They really do.
We haven't gotten to the point of where we hit season 8 and it looks like everybody's being held hostage. But we'll get there.
I guess we'll have to count the blinks. See what type of Morse code they're trying to set out.
We know that Penny tried to get out of filming part of the season. Should go hide in Steven Spielberg's guest house to avoid it. Rhonda! Wow, and then the cops burst in, and wow, this is even sicker than the priest said. That was funny.
That was good.
Funny.
Yep. Yeah, so, and then that's the end of the episode. It's cute, it's a bit wild, but
We get a tag. We get a tag scene. Everybody talks about what they're going to tell the girls, and then the girls come in sunburned and in pain.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot. I'm sorry. I didn't care about that scene very much, so I didn't note it down.
Oh, well, the whole thing is messy. The whole episode's messy. But yes, there is a tag scene. The girls sunburn themselves over in the auspicious heights of Palm Springs at Frank's Dollar. And they are in pain, so they don't even really notice anything. So everybody gets out of having to explain stuff. It's a messy, weird episode.
All right. Okay, so I've got the behind the camera, in front of the camera notes. Let's start chopping through that. I'm surprised it's an Al Idekman episode. This is his ninth of 11 episodes. He has 2 more to go in season 8. Just before this episode, he did write Only Hurts When I Breathe, which was another bit of a weird one in terms of tone. Now, after the show, he'd drop into an episode of Happy Days, an episode of Taxi, kind of sticks around the sitcom scene until the mid-90s, We're Gonna Marry with Children, and kind of seems to have semi-retired in terms of that sort of thing. But it's a little strange. We've really have liked Idekman's scripts in the past, and I was really surprised that this one just didn't come together. Now, Nick LaRose, this is his first of 4 episodes for the show as a writer, with 3 more to go in season 8, including story credit on the infamous Monastery show.
Oh,
yikes. Yeah. We'll get to that.
So we can blame him.
I think so.
Blame him for so much wrong.
This was his first credited written by gigs, but he stays active in sitcoms both as writer and producer for shows like Brothers, Growing Pains, The Mommies, and Grace Under Fire. His last project credited was as a co-executive producer on Whoopi. Okay, so the actress we didn't mention. Unfortunately, I only have real information for sure on the priest. He was another actor turned writer-producer named Gary Donzig. Now, Donzig was in TV in the 70s, including Logan's Run, The Waltons, and One Day at a Time. But then the 80s hit, and though he still acted in a few things, he jumped behind the scenes, working up to being the developing producer and main writer for Suddenly Susan.
Oh,
Sunley also wrote 26 episodes of Murphy Brown and 10 episodes of State of Grace. Side trivia, he was also on Hannah Montana for a couple of episodes, and most recently he wrote 2 Hallmark romance flicks, The Baker's Son and Royal Queen's Christmas.
Oh, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So
Very neat.
So we talked a bit about Bob McClurg as Mikey the dentist. At this point, he, as mentioned, he had done, his character bit player stuff like The Candidate, Magnum Force, Oh God, Cheech and Chong's next movie. And he kind of continues in TV shows like After MASH, Madam's Place, Legman, and Codename Foxfire, etc. But yeah, he became kind of less frequent as an actor in the 90s and the aughts. And then the 2 that I had trouble tracking down information on. So the 2 cops of the final scene are credited as Richard Locke and David Key. So David Key, I was not able to find anything on the dude. I had a little bit of a time crunch for today, so I probably could have, gotten something, perhaps. It also could have been a pseudonym, because apparently, so this is a tricky one with Richard Locke. When he's credited there and you go to IMDb, it lists it as Richard Holt Locke, because Richard Holt Locke was a gay porn star. But if that is, but this is the interesting thing, because if that is the case, that also means that David Key, the other policeman, may also be another like porn or smut actor, which would make the ending more ironic and more of a joke for people who are in the know, because basically if they're both porn actors, them coming in on this smutty scene, because the priest is trying to get them arrested for obscenity, obviously. And to do that would be interesting, have those actors be played by people in adult cinema would have been very funny and very interesting. And it would have been like, today's equivalent of like, throwing, Tommy Pistol and Sasha Grey or something.
Yeah.
It's one of those, we can't confirm. It would be cool if we could. I'll keep working on it.
Yes.
But that was kind of an interesting touch. Anyway, so that covers behind the camera, in front of the camera. Altogether, though, this is a weird episode. I'm not sure I really like it that much. I'm going to give this a 4.
Yeah. For me, this is a 3. I'm going to go a little bit lower. We haven't hit the doldrums of the 1s or 2s. This is where the show starts to crack, and it's a harbinger of the future. Performances try to salvage it. David Lander tries to center it. Some of Eddie Mecca's work is pretty good. Phil Foster goes a little bit too stagey here, in my opinion. And Leslie Easterbrook is trying. She's trying very, 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 very hard with what she has. But this is not good at all on a writing level. It's not good on a plot level. The PSA is so obvious. You could compare this to like shows like The Slow Child. Slow shows like What Do You Do with a Drunken Sailor? Episodes like Even Look Before You Leap. And you compare what those episodes have to this, and this is what people think Laverne and Shirley is versus what it can be. This is what people think. People stereotype the show as being this loud, crashing, obvious thing. And this is really one of the few episodes where, this is one of those episodes where it is a stereotype that people think it is.
Yeah.
So it's just a bad time all around. It's a bad time all around. One of the very few good things about it is David and what he tries to do with what he's given.
Yeah. And I also loved the whole Rhonda thing where she goes,
Yes.
I didn't realize the girls had one of these. I would have asked to borrow it.
Yeah. She's good. Leslie is always good in this show.
Yep. Very damn good. Anyway, yeah. But I think that covers it. So yeah, 3 and a 4. Yeah, this is okay. Anyway, so I guess that covers everything for today.
Yeah, it does. Definitely does.
Cool. So we'll have a quick word from our sponsor. We'll be back for what's coming up next, and I think you'll want to find out what's coming your way. All right. Thank you again, everyone, so much for watching Night After Night, and if you would like to know more, you can find us at Night After Night Pod on most services on the internet, different social media platforms, and the like. We have tried to maintain a pretty regular presence, but we're pretty stretched thin, so, But in any case, we hope that you join us and stay in touch. We would love to hear what you think, and also see what you think of this episode. Do you feel that this was a appropriate gun at PSA, or do you think that it was just a bunch of government-mandated junk? Or was it possibly just a bad idea gone horribly, horribly wrong? Or was it some terrifying creation concocted by the writer's room in dark magical rituals that bring forth the fountains of hell, projecting a script upon the stage that only the most brave actors of the Laverne and Shirley troupe can perform?
How many children were sacrificed, kids? Tell us in the comments. Oh gosh.
Anyway, I'm trying to figure. Like, this was pretty rough. Do we have a good one up next?
Oh yes, we do. Shirley has a wild dream about a soapy universe in which she is an heiress having a splashy affair with her chauffeur. Will this dream Shirley survive her philandering husband to find romantic happiness? This is Perfidy in Blue.
Ooh. Oh, that's right. And I think I know just the person to join us for that.
Gasp. We'll find out soon. So will you.
Husband, Tracy requires an alcohol.
Bye, y'all. And remember, if you end up having to solve a mystery with any of your friends and family, keep them away from your lover's diary. It's just the polite thing to do. Bye, y'all.